Hello, welcome to SportHUB in our inaugural episode of Sports Talk, where we chill out, talk sports, and have a great time. We won't be biased on certain sports as we're covering most of them in this video. To be honest though, there is nothing exciting going on in the MLB or for college football. The first thing I want to talk about is the NFL, the offseason. Yes, we have just concluded the first week of free agency, and there have been a splash of big moves, including a big draft trade which I'll talk about later. First of all, Kirk Cousins has signed with the Vikings. Yes, that's right. Arguably the biggest free agent available, he was snapped up for a 3-year, $84 million contract, which now makes him the NFL's highest paid player. The Vikings must have got a great team for cheap because now they're getting even better this year, and they could make it to the Super Bowl. They'll definitely control the offense along with some underrated receivers, so it should be a good year. We then have Doug Martin, who has just signed for the Raiders on a 1-year deal, which is of course surprising as he still has a good amount of time to go. To leave Tampa Bay just for that, I think things are now getting kinda strange. Despite being there only for 6 seasons, he's probably a legend in the eyes of Buccaneer fans. Why? He set the record of most rushing yards in a single game with 251, longest run with 84 yards, most yards by a rookie with 1,500, most touchdowns in a game with 4, most season touchdowns by a rookie with 11, and most yards per game for his tenure with 74.2. That's 6-6, and that's unbelievable. On to the Bears. After Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall, they really couldn't find anyone as a replacement for them. They tried drafting Kevin White, who was a bust, and Meredith just isn't enough. I mean, how is he even a starter? Anyway, the receiving game has just been improved, hopefully, after signing Allen Robinson. Yes, let's go. Robinson was one of course Jacksonville's biggest threats on offense last year, getting much more receptions because of course Allen Hurns' season-long injury. This will bring their offense on another level, and they can actually use their 8th overall pick on a defensive player. Okay, now on to probably the biggest NFL story of the video, which funny enough was the Allen trade. Oh yeah, also we've written a bunch of articles on trades that already happened a while ago, so I'll link them down below for you. But anyway, it was announced days ago that the Colts traded their 3rd overall pick to the Jets. What did they receive? They received the 6th overall pick, an early 2nd rounder, a mid-2nd rounder, and a 2019 2nd round selection. This is great for the Colts because they probably would have had safety anyway for their 3rd pick, and they have a little later picks that they can build on. As for the Jets, their future picks better be good, and so much the quarterback if they select one. The last NFL story is about Tyrann Mathieu. He refused to take a pick on the Cardinals, so they decided to release him. The Houston Texans have then just picked him up, signing him on a 1-year deal for $7 million. The safety had 70 solo tackles and 2 interceptions last season, improving from the year before. The Texans were really struggling in that position and had the money, so that pickup will only sharpen the defense, which can make them compete with an intensely competitive division consisting of the Titans, Colts, and Jaguars, all in the AFC South. Okay, now that we're done with the NFL, we have some NHL action. Of course, one of the best wingers in the game, Alex Ovechkin, has just reached the 600 goal mark a week ago, becoming the 20th player in history to achieve the feat. He has been a key part of the Capitals for a long time, and also days ago he has just tied with NHL legend Jerry Curry in 19th for all-time goals. This further grows Ovechkin's legacy as we've seen an amazing career from the guy. Speaking of goal scoring, it's been pretty tight in the NHL with only weeks left to go in the regular season. Technically the top goal scorer is the one who has the most points, so really it is a point race, of course with no real playmakers in hockey. This might be a few days old, but bear with me. He has less goals than Malkin and McKinnon, but of course it's the assists that also matter. Evgeny Malkin, Nathan McKinnon, and Connor McDavid are all tied for 2nd with 89 points, but goals are the tiebreaker. So is time running out in the regular season? Can Kucherov keep his crown? Comment your thoughts below. Okay, our last story comes from the MLS with the Chicago Fire, and they've been in a wacky situation. Despite the signings of Corrales, Dean, Ramos, Katai, Tachani, Mo Adams, and John Piquero, things haven't been going too well for them. Also, let's not forget the very new signing of Alan Gordon. Think of him as Peter Crouch, but even crappier. The Fire have been off to a disappointing start. They had a chance of beating Sporting KC, but they just kept on conceding in the beginning. And then when they played Minnesota United, who they could have easily beat, they lost. This type of form and mindset happened last year when they crashed out of the playoffs early after being humiliated by the Red Bulls. People say things will turn around, and I say hope so. I mean, we should still make the playoffs, especially with all of our new signings and the talent we now have. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our very first edition of Sports Talk. Check out our blog and Twitter where we constantly update you with important sports news. Anyway, this is SportHUB and I am out.